Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Love at First Sting, taking place on Super Bowl Sunday, February 7th. We've got the MPO round number 1, the front 9, and we are at the Angry Beaver disc golf course at Elon Park in, well, I'd say the south side of Charlotte, North Carolina. Paul Ulibarri on the tee, and just moments before we started, Paul turned to me and said, "Just so you know, this is one of the toughest courses in Charlotte." Well, we'll see about that, Paul. 325 feet, this bends down and to the right. And we don't need drone previews if Paul Ulibarri is just going to show us the way on every hole.
Just went in, maybe. Thank you.
And just barely seeing it finish there on that right side. I'm going to spoil it. Uli is pretty darn close to the basket, so that's a great shot. Here's David Weaver.
Middle.
Middle is good. David, also from the Charlotte area, 981 rated. And Mr. Another Round Disc Golf, going with a thumber here. This is Kyle Deck.
Down there.
Just left of center. And then Devin Grady, Team Scorpion Disc Golf.
In the dark, a little nervous.
Also one of our co-tournament directors and all-around ambassadors of the area. Devin tells me moments before we started, "Yeah, I'm really nervous. I don't know if I feel well." Come on, Devin. Just throwing some frisbees in the woods on apparently a really tough track.
Come on back.
Good approach there by David, just a bit deep. So you can see it's a little more than a mist and more like intermittent raindrops that we're feeling at this point. It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Temps probably in the low 50s. Great bid by Devin, but looks like he's going to be starting off with a bogey here. Weaver, a little short work here to clean up and finish out with the par.
Oh. Come on back, baby. I'm gonna need a mini.
I don't know if I'd talk that sweet to it, but he hunts down his mini, comes back, almost the same distance, and that one's right on line. I saw the look you gave that basket, David. Not calling it baby now. And as I mentioned, Uli, a near park job on hole 1 to get things started. Kyle in for the par and Devin with the bogey. So 2 bogeys, a par, and a birdie here to get things started. Big shout out to my Patreon subscribers.
We are going long here? Okay.
Now, there's multiple tees and multiple pins on a number of the holes out here. So that's a valid question by Uli. And not quite the fairway. OB with a stream on the left side, and then the OB white post line the right side.
That's okay, Kyle. Gotta love that, bud.
Yeah. Beautiful shot by Kyle. That's exactly where you'd like to be. Right in the center of the fairway. Fairways are at a premium on this course. And that leaked just over the ledge there off to that left side. And thankfully that stays out of bounds. Had that kicked right, I think we would have saw definitely an OB stroke. Again, they're going to the longer pin. And Devin says that tree's too close. That one too. All right, now that's just insult to injury. kicking out, then finding himself left. And a really bold move here by Weaver, going with the forehand roller with OB all along that left side. Thankfully, it sat down for him. Kyle's got a good look at the basket. And just deep of the pin, setting himself up in a really good position. Uli almost flirting with this left side OB. Yeah, that's like a $300 black zone. He said he wanted to pick up more from me. He said he'd buy as many as I have. I told him I'm going to keep the dozen or so that I have all hidden. Oh, no. Okay, now I see why he wants to buy more, because he's throwing them in rivers. This hole
Hold it.
needs to sit. This hole does play as the 7th most difficult and averages 0.26 over par as a par 4. And I think these guys are showing you why that's the case. So after Uli had gone out of bounds, he just has another little flick right up to the pin. He's looking at a bogey. And after Kyle had gone out of bounds there, he'll have that little tap in. He's looking at a bogey. That's David for his double bogey. Lumberjack Kyle in the background. I think he's going to go build a wigwam. This is wow. Oh no, you didn't. Yeah, the only way he knew that came out is by hearing the disc hit the ground, and unfortunately
that was brutal.
Yeah, even then I was noticing it was brutal. He's gonna tap in, and a little bit of a rough start. Kyle has just this left to clean up for his bogey. And hole 2 doing the dirty work on this card. To think this is only the 7th most difficult hole? What are we in store for? We're going to take another quick look and slow this one down. And Eesh. Sorry about that, Devin. Here's what I'm going to do to make everybody feel a little better about that. I have teamed up with 6sidedisc.com for this weekend, and they're going to work with me to give away some free mystery boxes. They have 4 different mystery boxes that they assemble for you based on some of your preferences. They have the Crusher, the Technician, the Luminescent, and the Creative. So what I'm going to do is request that you put into the comments right now, after you've liked and subscribed, but put into the comments what your favorite putter is. And 1 week after this video has dropped, I will randomly grab from somebody that has submitted what their favorite putter is, and then I will link you up with 6sidedisc.com, and they will send out a 3-disc mystery pack. So that should make you feel a little bit better about what we just saw. I know it makes me feel good, and I got to thank 6sided Disc for teaming up with me for the weekend. We're going to have some giveaways, so stay tuned for all 4 of the videos this weekend. Again, just put it in the comments below what your favorite putter is, and I'll draw a winner and hook you guys up. All right, let's get back to the action. Plenty of play left to go here at the first round of Love at First Sting. Okay, well, someone needs to check his Dollar Shave Club because it looks like he's overdue on a shave. Maybe six-sided disc can hook that up as well. Paul Ulibarri gets pushed over to that left side. This is a beast of a hole. Par 5, 896 feet. We're essentially island jumping from spot to spot to spot here. You're just trying to get out on this initial throw.
Through it all. Yeah. That's exactly what I was going.
Wow, then you nailed it, David. There's plenty to work to do. Believe it or not, I feel like this is one of the easier parts of this hole, is just trying to initially get out of the gap here, keep it in bounds, and set yourself up for your second shot. So we're going to see a thumber here. Up, and that entire area also plays essentially as an island. Now, if you go on it and over it, you get to take it from where you were last in bounds, but that plays as an island area right there. Completely surrounded by OB, and now Yuli, you can tell that tree is really, it's just in a goofy spot. I'm kind of shocked to see him not just kind of reach out to his right and throw a flick there. And just barely making it onto the island. David has the other side of that tree to contend with. Needs that to hook up.
Really?
Yeah, really, unfortunately. David shocked that that didn't quite finish the way he wanted it to. So with the best drive of the group, we've got Devin trying to make up for that not so friendly basket. And this destroyer, I think he told me, just...
That was a destroyer.
Yeah.
Probably from right here. I don't know if he crossed.
Yeah. Not exactly doing what he thought it was going to do. And since he had never crossed the inbounds area, he took it from back where he was. As if 896 slightly uphill with a wild S-turn to it isn't enough. And I lost that one a little bit. That actually carried way deep and right into pretty close to the parking lot. And Kyle's out in the open. If he can get up and down from there, he's looking at a par 5. David had just crossed the edge there, so that's where they gave him the spot. And I think he's going to be in a lot of trouble over there, but at least he's in bounds. This is second thumber of this hole.
Yeah, nice. Nice shot. Thank you.
If you've lost count, so have I. Hole 3 is the most difficult hole on the course relative to par. It averaged 6.37, and that's inbounds, not quite pin high, kind of on that left side, but it averaged 6.37 as a par 5. And you can see everyone in our group here struggling. Dave just barely gets out. And I mentioned Yuli had found that road. Maybe he didn't get all the way to the parking lot, but he had found the road over there. There is an out of bounds. A little flick. I'm not going to lie, as a cameraman, seeing this course for the first time, 3 holes in, after hole 2, after hole 3, at this point, I was somewhat second-guessing my decision to be there. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Kyle doesn't connect. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. This is no disrespect to these guys. I was just thinking like, wow, the baskets are disrespecting us. The nothing seems to be going well for us at the moment. Us collectively as a group. The rain is thinking about backing off. That one stays in for the double bogey. In the open division, Alex Zeros and Michael Johansson were the only two out of our entire open division, which is about 20, almost 20 players deep, were the only two that walked away with birdies here. And they were clearly doing some work to take the 4. All right, we're done. No more giveaways after that, although I feel like we need one. Move over to hole 4, a par 4 at 618 feet. This one plays down and to the right. And you really need to split those uprights that Uli was just to the right side of, and then it slightly bends right the rest of the way to the pin. Oh, and there's also OB on the far left side. You see the second card, or the card in front of them, I should say. Just about to tap out. David doesn't quite hit the field goal.
Brutal.
Looking for some fairway there for David. One thing I really love, and I know we see these in a number of places, but seeing these PVC pipes that are throughout the course that will then tell you how far away you are from the pin. We just saw the blue one. There's the white one and the red one at 300, 200, and 100 feet from the pin. Obviously just gives you a really good reference point. Anytime, I mean, I think especially if you're coming out, you're playing a brand new course, and you're, not sure some of these pins are tucked away or hidden. That can be, when you see a post that says 100 feet, it at least gives you an idea of which direction you should be pointing, or if you should be able to see the basket yet or not. A couple more thumbers there by Kyle. This is Yuli's second shot. And a good, not quite enough angle on that turnover.
Oh my God. Touched out.
This comes in as the 8th most difficult hole on the course, averaging 4.21. I mean, and just looking at the scores, we see we're through 4 holes. All 4 of our players currently over par. In fact, just 2 players in the entire field had played these 4 holes under par. Michael, Joe, and Alex. Everyone else in the MPO field was currently over par through these first 4 holes.
Shot, buddy.
You go, Kyle.
Yeah. A few summers later.
Yuli's going to get in there and tap out, sitting right next to the basket, and then a few other putts to come. A little flow of play action.
There you go. Good putt.
I believe that Devin and his brother, creators of Scorpion Disc Golf, had said they're looking to host about 30 sanctioned tournaments this year. So they're on the scene and very excited and passionate about promoting and growing the sport, offering up plenty of tournaments. I know they're in the Charlotte area. I think they'll be expanding beyond that. A couple of great guys to work with here for the weekend. Kyle's in for the bogey. And we are going to move on. Let's see if we can get a little reprieve. We've got a par 3, 290 feet. This one bends up and to the right. You kind of see it way off on the right side if you see the white band there. As I try to pan over to it. Good looking shot if it would have just stayed clean. Really smart play here by Kyle. Just trying to kind of keep that one low and maybe even have it hit the ground and then flare off to the right. It did take a little bit of a goofy skip, but that was the play he was going for. We'll see if this stays clean, and hopefully that'll give Devin a putt. David trying to make something happen here. I mentioned earlier, David rated 981. Paul Ulibarri comes in rated at 1026. Devin here at 924 and Kyle at 915. So if that gives you guys a little bit of perspective with their ratings, Kyle almost draining that one. Oh, nice. Great birdie there by Uli. So that momentarily, that should bring him back down to even. 2 bogeys, 2 birdies on the round. Isn't it funny how sometimes it's so tough to get the disc into the basket, and then sometimes it's tough to get it out as well? We're moving on to hole number 6. Big thanks to the PDGA. I myself, PDGA member 10738. Been a member since the mid-90s. And, of course, this is a PDGA-sanctioned C-tier event. And a beautiful shot by Paul Ulibarri. Not quite tight enough for Weaver. And then finds OB on that left side. Asking for the miss.
What was that?
The Moonshine Vandal.
I mean, all of that.
A Moonshine Vandal. Holy cow. It just turned and continued to turn the whole way. It looked beautiful. And not quite as far, but a great shot there by Devin. Solid forehand. At least David has what looks like a decent angle on this fairway. And the standstill is very effective. Oh, yeah. He's going for it all. Now, there is out of bounds. It essentially plays as like an extended, we'll say like riverbed almost, or a low-lying area there. So there is an OB between Uli and the basket. Paul, that is not the positive reinforcement I'd like to hear you yelling out. You are not the worst. That wasn't the worst shot either. Wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. Oh, that needs to sit. Pan back and see just how much that had slid down the hill, or should I say rolled down the hill. David doing some work. Oh, yeah, and then great angle, good speed coming in. He may be able to walk away with just the bogey after the OB stroke. Here's Yuli. This is his third shot.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Little love, little kiss. Yeah.
Little love, little love. Yuli picks up another par. And right now, I don't know about you guys, but par sounds real good. It's feeling good. It sounds good right about now. Little trick shot action there. Not too often would you be thinking, yeah, man, I'd just love to be at par right now. Well, clearly, it seems like it's not too bad of a place to be. Devin will settle for the par after having pretty good position, so he couldn't quite get up and down, but we'll take that. Hole 6 comes in as the third most difficult hole on the course. So we're seeing these guys handle it quite well. It averaged 4.53 as a par 4. And it, like I said, the fourth most difficult hole on the course. So not too bad. Big shout out to Sail On Enterprises, Tony, helping me out. If you guys need any computer or website related stuff, fellow disc golfer Tony Boyko can help you out.
Yes.
Okay, Yuli. I'd bet $100 you couldn't hit that gap again, but he'll take it. Oh.
Oh, baby. I've never seen one flare.
And even after the skip up, and it comes down and it tombstones and sticks there, after it skipped up into the air, pretty similar result there by Devin.
Kyle's disc over.
It's got a rock a little bit too high. And again, there's an OB area that kind of flows right through this. So, of course, you need to be fully committed. Hopefully you're getting over, but if you're not, hopefully you're short enough. Like
Over.
Across.
David. Okay, well, he's over now, but... So David's struggling here. He's about to pick up another bogey, it looks like. That would put him to 7 over. So even after that skipped, it still came down, and that's how it landed. You don't see that too often. Devin for a long look at birdie. You see the rain is trying to stop. Sun certainly hasn't come out yet. It hasn't gotten much warmer. But the rain has subsided. All right. Taking full advantage of that little skinny route. Yuli goes to 1 under. And surprisingly, this hole still played at 3.53. So a half stroke above par. Oh, that's incredible. We're going to move on. Huge shout out to my Patreon subscribers. I'm just going to spoil it a little and say if you're a Patreon subscriber, you might benefit a little more during this coverage. So I'm throwing that out there now just to get you prepped for it. I decided to go to the catch on this par 4, 661 feet. And if you threw a nearly perfect drive, you would maybe land at my feet, is what I think I've deduced. You're really just trying to throw it pretty much right at me, and then it has a slight bend down into the right. But they are throwing a little bit uphill. This is the first time I'm seeing the two courses here at Elon Park, and that may not be seen again. Holy cow. Terrible kick. And David's going to try and fight out, and that's borderline miraculous. Kyle. Oh, okay. So I thought that was coming right at my head. I was watching it through the viewfinder, and I ducked down, and it really wasn't going to hit me, but I had my head buried in my camera. I thought it was going to take my head off. And it goes just over the top of me. Uli fighting back out to the fairway. Now you can see down into the right, just off in the distance, you see the white band. There's also the 300-foot marker. And a gorgeous patent-pending turnover there by Devin. David with a forehand. Yeah, and at that point, they all thought it was hilarious that they're thrown right at my face. Uli. He needed a little more hyzer on that with that forehand. He needed to cut it a little bit tighter because then it could have filtered all the way down to the pin. This plays downhill and to the right. So you need to keep it clean, and if it just gets on that angle, like you see David's flexing back out, you're probably going to be pushing toward the pin. Or you could throw an overhand. I think Kyle's familiar with those.
Oh, smack it. Oh, God, dude.
Yeah, 38-footer.
Come on, Kyle. Be more positive. He thinks he's 38 feet. I think it's inside that. And another backwards stance there. Uli just playing the flick. You know, here we are through 8 holes. We're seeing some big scores. We see Uli himself just fighting around par. And I think if there's a takeaway here, it's remain patient. You know, this course can have you for, I was going to say for lunch, but I think breakfast and dinner as well. Solid par there by Kyle. You just got to remain patient. You're going to hit a tree. You're going to get off the fairway. You're going to scramble. You'll probably find yourself with a bogey from time to time, but don't let that frustration turn your bogey into a double or a triple bogey because you rushed something or you got too flustered. So Devin with the honors. He's +7 through these first 8 holes. And that one's too tight. 329 feet. That's almost, exactly 100 meters? Just a little over? I told all my international viewers that I'd help them out.
Oh, yeah, that's that same disc. That's beautiful.
Nice shot, Kyle.
Great shot by Kyle. It's going to be a little bit short, but the turn, the angle, everything looked really good there.
Really?
No. Not enough turn there by Uli.
Hold it.
David.
Oh, what a kick.
There we go.
There it is.
I'll take it. I will take it.
David says, I'll take it. He's 8 up through 8 holes. Certainly not the play. David did say he was out working on one of the new courses in the area the day before. I'm not going to lob any excuses out there for him, but if he's out there with a chainsaw and working hard for the disc golf community, I'm going to let it slide there. David also telling me it's Charlotte Disc Golf Club, which we know is so strong, pushing 700 members, and just a endless supply of courses, it feels like, in the Charlotte area. Such incredible host and such a great place to play disc golf. And Kyle may have to settle for the par. Hope you guys are enjoying the bonus coverage. This kind of came about really late. And, oh no. Sit down. Not only did it come about late, but it, largely became a thing thanks to Devin and Scorpion Disc Golf, along with six-sided discs, and then most importantly, the Patreon supporters I have. If it were not for my Patreon account, if it weren't for you guys supporting me the way you do via Patreon, this coverage would not exist. So thank you to all of you. We're going to start to close things out here on the front 9. I've got the back 9. We've got everything else ready to go for round 2. We'll see how these guys can close out this front 9. Okay. Par for Uli. Unfortunately, David's going to go to 9 up through 9. We'll see if he can turn things around. See if the rest of the card can get on track for the back half. David, you're doing good work everywhere else, though, and we appreciate it. So that's all I've got for you guys. We'll see you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell me the putter that you love. Thank you to Six-Sided Disc. And Yuli just said it. That's where we cut things. Guys, again, appreciate it. We'll see you in the back half for round number 1 at the 2021 Love at First Sting.